Hello everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from me and Lady. Oh, it's been a minute since we've last chatted, hasn't it? Lots of stuff happening. We went to Omaha for Christmas and just life stuff, getting used to a new normal kind of thing with my husband's new schedule. But anyway, it's WIP Parade season, so I figured that I'd show you what I've been working on. I went through and counted the other day, and I have 54 WIPs, which is insane to me. I know some people can do it, but I am not making progress on anything with this many WIPs. And then I also have 18 projects kitted up, ready to start. I'll show those in another video, but today I'm going to go through all my projects. I'm going to start with full coverage, and then I'll do non-full coverage. I don't know how long this is going to be. Maybe I'll break them up into two. I don't know. I'll see when I get to the end of my full coverages. So grab yourself a drink, maybe a project to stitch on, and let's go through and see what I've got going. I got this teapot. We're gonna pretend this is coffee and not soda, okay? I got this teapot for my sister for Christmas, and I have used it for tea, but today I'm using it for soda. Because I have a lot of stuff to talk about. All right, so full coverage. This is I have two of these. So, yeah. So what I've done, my kind of system for organizing is I got these things, I don't know what you call them, from Amazon. I get them in a pack, I think of 24. And then I just put a label on the back with all the information. So, all right, let's get started. So this is my temperature stitch. This is my oldest WIP. I started this one in 2021. This one is self-charted. I'm using all DMC for this. I'm doing it on 14 count white Aida, 2/1 full cross. I worked on this a little bit this year, but not much. I think I only did a couple rows. This was my WIP go for January. And I think I only got maybe 2 rows down here. I think I'm in April right now. So this is, top line is January 1st. I did the high temperatures for Denver. And then, yeah, we got a couple of cold days in February, but for the most part, it's pretty much been in the 40s and 50s up until this week here. So it's fun. This one's good for a mindless one. If I just want to stitch blocks of color. So this one I stitch in hand, and I just do the sewing method with it. But yeah, I'm planning on putting that one over my dresser if I ever get it done. Oh, and this one, I won't show you the floss for all of them, but this one I think deserves an honorable mention. The floss is kind of fading because, it's like 4 years old, but somebody called it a muted rainbow, which I absolutely loved. So I haven't really gotten to use the pinks and the purples, which is kind of sad. So in Colorado, you don't really get too many below zero temperatures after February. January, usually February is when you'll get them. All right, we're just gonna put them back in the bin so I don't have them laying all over. And that is for the year 2021. My next WIP is Emerald City by Zana Cross Stitch. I am doing this one. Now, my method right now is to do extreme cross country. So I just take one color and stitch it throughout the entire piece. Which usually ends up being 37 or 3371 or 310. This one is 310. But anyway, this is Emerald City by Xana Cross Stitch. I am using all the called for DMC. I'm stitching this on 25 count, easy count Lagana, 1/1 full cross. I started this one sometime in 2023. Actually, I may, no, because it didn't import when I switched over to, I switched my iPads because my other iPad died. So this one, I did a center start, but then once I finished this one page, I was like, I don't want to do the center anymore. So this is where I started. And then I moved up and counted up over into the corner. And so now I'm just working on 310 in the corner. I've got some like of this little purpley color here. Yeah, but for the most part, I'm working on 310. I haven't touched this one, I think, since spring sometime because it was on WIP Go as well. So that's a huge piece. This is probably, I think this is my biggest piece. Either this one or Possibilities is. So I had all the flosses kitted up, but then I realized I'm spending so much money on floss because I'm kitting everything up. So I have my floss storage over here. I just put all that, took it apart, put it into storage so I could pull from it as needed, because you don't really need a full set of floss if you're doing extreme cross country. So I'm just gonna pull one at a time. So right now I'm working on 310. Made these little floss cards out of scrapbook paper because it's easy. And I have a ton of scrapbook paper. I have a laminator and a heart hole punch that's left over from my wedding 10 years ago. And so I'm like, I'll just make myself some floss cards. Okay. This next one is a beaded one because I love llamas, and I went through this phase in 2023 where I really wanted to do a beaded project. So I found this one on Etsy, and I can't tell you where I got it. It's Russian, and it came from Russia. So that was back before they banned, no, actually that might have been after they banned a whole bunch of Russian shops. But anyway, so this one, there's not really much. Yeah, I'm using the kit and I started in 2023. That's all I have for you. But here's where I am. I'm working down on the neck there. And it's fun to do. It's really fun to do. It's hurting my fingers though, because this needle that came with the kit is just so cheap and so bendy. But yeah, the beads go all the way, all the way up and out through this flower crown and stuff. So someday I'll finish it. I found this one when I was going through my storage and reorganizing, if you can see back there. I took all the stuff from this closet, which is all home decor stuff, and put it in the closet in the office. The office closet was my craft closet, and I moved all that in here. So it was a big project, but I found some stuff like this. I'm trying to remember who, there's somebody on YouTube who does Stitch With Me's, and she has a couple projects like this. I don't think it's Stitchery Lovers, it might be. No, it's not Stitchery Lovers. Oh, I don't remember who it is. Okay, next is Mountain Cabin by Dominic Davison, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started this one June 20th, 2023. I'm using the called for DMC. I'm stitching this on 25 easy count Lugana. I'm doing 1/1 full cross. And which way's up? Here's where I'm at. I am. So I started doing this as a page, and wow, you can really see a lot of the white showing through up here. You can't see it. Oh no, the white looks like white, but it's actually light green. Okay, scared me for a second. I started doing this page by page, but then when I decided to start doing extreme cross country, then I took this green here, and I'm working with the green, and it's 7:30. So, love this one so much. This is my first Heaven and Earth Designs. I have a few going now. All right. This one is one I was calling Super Secret, but my husband doesn't watch this, and I'm doing it for him, so I'll just call it what it is. This is Legend of Zelda. I got this from Nenny Sweet Patterns on Etsy. I'm using the called for DMC, and I am stitching this on 28 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. I started this on October 8th, 2023, and I do have this one kitted up, but it's because my fabric isn't gridded. Well, I mean, I'm gridding it, but it's not like pre-gridded, so it's not easy to count, and I'm not gonna go through and grid the entire piece. But this one was on my WIP Go for December. I don't think I worked on it. I kind of lost my stitchy bug for a bit. Yeah, but I did use it on my Stitch 60. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, my Stitch 60 is when I spin a wheel. I have all my projects on a wheel, and I spin it and then work on those projects for 60 minutes. So, so I have gotten some progress on this over the past year. I forgot I was gonna try to pull up my progress on this stuff, but I'm not really a progress tracker. I'm a, look at how it looks kind of person. So, yeah, this one's gonna take me forever if I don't get on it. All right, next we are looking at, I believe this one's called The Possibilities. I'm doing the supersize max color version. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, designed by Walking Melons. This one is retired. I lucked out and bought this before it was retired because I did not see the retirement announcement on it. I am using the called for DMC. I'm doing this on 25 easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. I started this sometime in 2024, and here's where I'm at. So I typically always start in the upper left hand corner. So got this little guy going, lots of black, but then it eventually morphs into like blues and purples. So yeah, it's fun. I love it. And so there's this whole support group on Facebook. I'm working on 310. There's this whole support group on Facebook for this project, which is so much fun. I was watching Catherine Stitch's WIP Parade last night, and she said something about how Flosstubers are always saying, oh, I really want to get back to that one. And, she's like, we all want to get back to all these projects. She was like, but, so she was like, I'm not saying that. And you know what? I agree. Like, all these projects are fantastic, otherwise I wouldn't be working on them. And we're just gonna have a whole like blanket. Oh, I'd really love to get back to that. So, all right, next is Alabama. I got this one from Stitches Lover Shop on Etsy. I'm using the Called for DMC. I'm stitching this on 14 count Ada in the color Yorkshire. And this one came in a pack of all the 50 states. So I just started with the A's and I'm working my way down. But here is where I'm at. So it's fun to stitch. It's not one that I'm like, I don't feel compelled to stitch. So it's just one that's, you know, I'll stitch it when it comes up, but I'm not in a rush to get this one done. So, but I love the colors on this, really pretty. Next is my wooden barn. This one was gifted to me by a former coworker of mine. This is from Sharova Creations. I'm using the Called for DMC. Where is my DMC in this? I don't have any floss in here. I'm using the Called for DMC. I'm doing this on 25 count Lugana in the color Vintage Marble by Robimy Art. Somebody I found on Etsy. I'm doing 1/1 full cross. I started this one in 2024. Oh, and I'll be putting pictures, before pictures in here too, of the ones that I have. I don't think, well, no, I did touch this one a little bit. This is a printed Lugana, and I bought way bigger than I needed because I got turned around on the conversion from centimeters to inches, I think. And so I have this giant piece of cloth, which is fine. I'll use it for something else. I'm not stitching the background, so I guess technically this is not full coverage. Because I kind of wanted to give it kind of a, nope, this way. Like it's in a snowstorm. Lady, you're snoring. She is being so rude, snoring so loud. I may let her out because I don't want her snoring through this. I don't even hear it anymore, but anyway, so I started on the middle left hand. I'm taking the roof up, and so I'm just stitching the barn, no background. And then I'm going to, I think, find some sort of Christmas wreath button or something like that and make this into like maybe a Christmas piece and just like stick it on the front of the barn. So I got a little bit of progress on this, not much. Okay, this is Aurora Cabin by Dimensions. I started this on February 2nd, 2024. I am doing this on a 16 count Ada in the color green from Roseland US on Etsy. I am stitching this as called. If you've ever done a Dimensions piece, you know that they have interesting stitches in it, so you can't just do like if it's the real Dimensions piece, you can't just do like I mean, you can do whatever you want, but the pattern calls for a bunch of different types of stitches and threads and thread counts and all that. So this one for the most part is 2/1 full cross, but the sky calls for 6/1 half cross. So it's a pain in the butt because that thread is so thick, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it so that I can say I stitched a dimensions piece. I actually have another one going too, but this one is my older one. So yeah, it's slow going. It's not my favorite, but you know, it's something that I do want to finish. So all right. This next one is Victorian Autumn by Thomas Kincaid, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This one I started April 4th, 2024. I'm using the called for DMC. I'm stitching it 25 count, easy count Lagana, 1/1, full cross. And here's where I'm at. So love it. It's beautiful. I can't wait to finish it. This one always makes me think of my mom. So yeah, not a lot of progress, but it's good. This next one. This is Elephant Walk by David Penfound Artworks, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This one, if you can see from the picture, upper left-hand corner is supposed to be blues and grays. The way it's charted in green. So, there was somebody in the Facebook group, the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group, who kind of raised a fuss over this one and the green. And he did not go through the proper channels, so I think he got removed from the group. Either that or just all his posts got deleted. But he contacted them and said, you know, this isn't charted correctly. And he said that they came to him and said, yes, it is. And so I've been stitching it, and, you know, other people have been stitching it, and they've been stitching the green. But when I put it into Markup RXP and I did the preview on it, the background is not correct. So I don't hate it. So I think I'm going to stick with the green, especially since I've done so much on it, which to some of you guys, this may not look like a lot, but for me, this is a lot. So I think I'm going to go with it because it doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look like the picture. So I don't know. We'll pretend a hailstorm is coming. How about that? But love this one. This is one of my favorites. Did I say, okay, I'm using called for DMC. I'm stitching this on 28 count, easy count Lagana, 1/1 full cross. I started this on May 8th, 2024. Okay, here's another one of my favorites. This one's a restart. This is Henry VIII by Hans Holbein, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm using the Called for Floss 28 easy count Lagana. I started this on 22 count Hardinger, and I was stitching 1/1, and the threads were just sliding all over the place because Hardinger is not a tight weave. I tried stitching it 2/2 and I did not like it. Or sorry, not 2/2, 2/1. And I did not like it. I got frustrated. It wasn't comfortable. So I realized 28 count is kind of my sweet spot. So I just decided to restart it because I didn't get that far on it. But here's where he is at. So lots of blue. But love him. He's gonna look amazing when he's done. So. I love the Tudors. I know a lot of you do. Love the Tudors. Love English history. Mary Queen of Scots is my favorite, but you don't get a lot of stuff about her. Although Michelle from Heaven and Earth Designs has charted, I think, one Mary Queen of Scots. She has a lot of Elizabeth I on there. One Mary Queen of Scots. She just charted Lady Jane Grey and released that, which of course I bought. I haven't bought Mary Queen of Scots yet. So hopefully I'll be able to start Lady Jane Grey in 2026. Unsee my mug, it's Ireland. I have a whole bunch of these. I should do a mug parade too. This one is Mew by Woody Stitch Co. I'm using Called for DMC. I am stitching this on a 16 count Ada by Claire Brown X Stitch. The color is Marble 001. I'm doing 2/1 full cross. I started this October 21st, 2024. And here is where I'm at. So I loved it. Lady, stop snoring. I love doing the black outline, and now I'm coming in and bringing the gray. And so this is bigger than I thought it would be, but it works. I love it. So, all right, I'm gonna go put her outside. So I'll be right back. Okay, snoring has been dealt with. Okay, Mew is going back. I originally started this one for my nephew because he was super into Pokemon, but he's not so much anymore. Let's see, this next one is The Signing of the Constitution by Howard Chandler Christie, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This was the 2023 4th of July freebie from Heaven and Earth Designs. This was back when she was doing freebies like once a month. In 2023, she was so generous and gave out a lot of freebies. Yeah, I think it was 2023, not 2024. But anyway, so I'm using the Called for DMC. I'm stitching this on 25 easy count Lagana, 1/1 full cross. I started this January 19th. Now we're getting into 2025. So this is one that I'm taking the 3371, I believe. And I just took it all the way across to see how far it would go. That's just over the course of a couple pages. And now in this corner, there's so much of this brown. So yeah, it's fun. I started stitching this for the semi-quincentennial, and I was trying to stitch it on the 4th of every month, but I couldn't keep up with that. So love that one. I've been wanting to stitch it, like I had my eye on it, and then she put it up as a freebie. I was like, yes. This one is Penguins, which it's in a hoop. I need to take it out of the hoop because I like never stitch it. Let's do that. This one is buy all my stitches on Etsy as well. I'm using Called for DMC. I'm doing this on 14 count, some color Ada. It's really stiff. I'm doing 2/1 full cross. I started this on March 31st, 2025. Excuse me. Very, very small start. So, not too exciting. But she was having a sale, and I think it was like buy 2 get 1 free or something like that, or buy 3 get 3 free, or I don't know, something. And I bought this one and a few others. And look at this little project bag I found. Isn't that cute? I found this at Hobby Lobby. I think it was like $2. So, all right, here is my other dimensions piece. This is Cabin Fever. I adopted this from that same coworker that I did, that I got the Wooden Barn from. This one, same thing. I'm stitching it according to the dimensions chart. I'm using Called for Floss. I'm doing this on 14 count ivory Ada, partly because that's what came in the kit. I restarted it because the Ada that was in there was so stinking stiff that I just couldn't do it. So I kept the Ada, and I just restarted it. So there are some blends in here. So this one is, you know, same thing, like bunch of weird stitches and then blends. And so this purple down here is a blend of this purple and a darker purple. So I'm doing a center start here. Partly because the kit didn't have any dimensions on it. You would think that a kit from a company called Dimensions would have actual dimensions. But so I'm starting this in the middle and branching out, and wherever I run out of room is where I run out of room, or maybe it'll all fit. I don't know. So there's that. I'm not the biggest dimensions fan. I don't know if you can tell, but I want to do these 2. I have a lot of cabins going. This next one is St. Michael Vanquishes Satan. This is a painting by the Renaissance artist Raphael. I took this to Good Life Farm WV on Etsy and asked them to chart it out for me, because this is before I got my own charting software. I had to restart this. So I'm using the Call for DMC. I'm doing this on 16 count Ada in the color Stone, 2/1 full cross. I originally started it in 2023, and then I was drawing a grid, and it was just, I don't know. I think I forgot like where on the grid I started, and so things just got messed up and I couldn't salvage it, and so I had to restart it. So I restarted on May 2nd, 2025, and here is where I'm at. So I feel like I got quite a bit done. I restarted this before I went to Germany, and I took it to Germany, worked on it in Germany, and I feel like I got a lot of progress on it. So, again, the upper left-hand corner. Here's his hand gripping his spear. So I cropped this picture because the original picture has the devil laying on the ground and, you know, trying to shield himself from Michael's spear. But I was like, I don't really want that. I just want Michael in it. So this one's fun to stitch. It's a lot of fun to stitch. Alrighty. This one is my lady picture. This is a picture that I took that my husband took to a free charting software and charted and gave it to me for Christmas last year. I'm using the called for DMC on 25 Easy Count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. I started this on August 20th, 2025, which is her birthday. And here's where I'm at. No, that's not right, because I think I have a before picture. Maybe not, I don't know. No, I'm gonna stick with, no, I started this in January because I started about the same time I did the Constitution, I think. You know what, I can tell you exactly when I started it, actually. Well, no, this will tell me August 20th, so we'll just go with that. We'll just say that I started this August 20th, 2025. So I'm taking the 612 down down the piece. This is just the wall. Where did I decide the, oh, I don't know, but so anyway, yeah, so this is another one that, yeah, it says I started at 25 or August. This is another one that I was trying to do on a certain day of the month. I was trying to do it on the 20th of the month because that's Lady's birthday, is August 20th. But I haven't kept up on it. So this next one is called Ghosts. This is by Oh My Stitches as well. I'm using the called for DMC again on the same stiff Ada. 2/1 full cross. I started this on August 23rd, 2025. And it's hard to, here's where I'm at. So yet again, not a lot of progress. But I saw this one and I was like, oh my goodness, I want to stitch that so bad. So working on it. Like the colors aren't like that eye-catching, but the pattern I think is stinking adorable. So this next one is called St. Peter's in Spring. This one is from my Etsy shop, Captain Stitchy Bug. This is the church where my brother and sister-in-law got married in Germany. And this is the picture that I took one day while I was just out walking around the village, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. It was early May, and there were flowers all over the place. It's just beautiful, beautiful. So I snapped this picture. This one you might not be able to tell. Oh, I'm doing call for DMC on 28 Easy Count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. I started this on September 5th, 2025. I'm using like super light blue, so light that it's almost white. So I guess you can kind of see it. But yeah, it's kind of, it's not super fun to stitch since it's so light, but like I want to get these stitches out of the way. So I'm kind of just like going with it. Am I too low? This next one, this is Gobbler Farms by Donna Gelsinger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Again, using the called for DMC. I'm doing this on 28 Easy Count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. I started this on September 7th, 2025. I started this one for Gridiron Grind. And I realized that I am not cut out for stitching challenges because I way lost my stitchy bug. This was one of the things that led to me kind of losing it. It's not its only fault. There's some other things that happened that really contributed to it. But I've realized that when I push myself to count stitches and stuff, it's not fun for me anymore. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not telling you what percentages I'm at, because I don't know, because it takes the fun out of it for me. So so this is another one where I'm doing 3371, and I'm excited to tell you about my battle of 3371s, so stay tuned for that. But here's where I'm at. I took it all the way over here. So there's a ton of 3371 in here. And how I pick what color I start with is I do the 1-1 spot, and whatever starts that's the color that I start with. So yes, love this one. Love Donna Gelsinger's stuff. I think she is probably my favorite hate designer. Amy Stewart is awesome. I still haven't started any Amy Stewart stuff. I have a bunch of Amy Stewart, a bunch of Donna Gelsinger. I have the one Dominic Davison, which I love his stuff too. There are quite a few designers that I absolutely love, but I think Donna Gelsinger is really it for me. So, but I love Amy Stewart's use of color. So, so the other one I did for Gridiron Grind was Valley Girl. This is another one that was charted by me in my Etsy shop, Captain Stitchy Bug. And I'm using the called for DMC on 28 Easy Count Lugana 1/1 full cross. I started this on September 11th, 2025. And I'm starting with B5200 on this, so it's still a lot of light stitching. Which way's up? There we go. So it's hard to see, but I got like quite a few stitches in there. So that upper left-hand corner is just like all different kinds of whites because of the clouds and stuff. So, but I think she is so stinking adorable. I love her so much that I absolutely had to stitch her. So, yeah. And then that brings us to my final full coverage that I have started. And I think I am going to break this up into two because I have a whole another one of these for non-full coverages. So this one is Vanita's Still, maybe. I don't know how you say it, but I'm just calling it Hate Skulls because that's what they're calling it in the Facebook groups. This is the 2026 Heaven and Earth Designs stitch along. I didn't do it last year and I really wish I had because I wanted to stitch the lion. They have that on their website, so I may just buy it anyway. I was originally going to stitch, if you're familiar with the Hade Sal, if not, you can go to the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group. I think you can search Sal, maybe Sal 2026, SAL. You know, it's all over the place, so I'm not gonna like go through it and, you know, show pictures or anything like that. I wanted to do Battle, which is the one with the ships. And I sat on this for several weeks because I was like, I don't know which one I want to do. But I wanted to do Battle, but then I saw the uncropped version, which has 2 ships in it, and I like that better. So I'm just gonna get that someday. And then the rabbit, dragonfly, whatever creature that was, I was going to do that one too. That one's also on the website. This one is not on the website that I saw, so I decided to do this one, and it's not something that I normally stitch, so I thought, you know what, that's gonna be a lot of fun to just try and stitch. You know, see how into it I get, and so far I'm loving it. I started it yesterday. Today is January 1st, 2026. So I started it yesterday, December 31st, 2025, doing the called for DMC. I am doing this one extreme cross country because I am not stressing myself out to get the reward charts. You have to do 6 pages to get all the reward charts, and then you have to completely finish the piece to get the reward charts plus a special bonus chart. You can choose from 3. Yeah, I'm not going to stress myself out to do that. So I'm just stitching it because I like it. So this is another 3371, and that's where I'm at. So not a huge amount of progress, but I've only been stitching it for a couple hours. So yeah, I really love my skulls. So the hashtag is hate skulls. So I'm excited for it. And this is one of the ones that not a lot of people are doing. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. So anyway, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. Stick around for my non-full coverage ones, then I'll eventually have a kit parade. I do want to talk about WIP Go 2026, in addition to my just basic January video, which I'll probably do that later as like a wrap up, as opposed to because I barely did anything in December, and what I did do in December I don't remember. So anyway, I'm gonna end this here. I will see you all in part 2. Mwah.